All right, we got a battle of the fans today. We got the Lasko Cyclone Pedestal fan on the right. We got the Dreo Smart fan on the left. Now, tail of the tape here, we've got the Dreo coming up to a max height of 37. The Lasko coming in at 44.5. Pretty tall there. Now, the Dreo goes down to 33.5, and the Lasko is also coming down. Its shortest setting is 33.5 as well. So the Lasko is going to take the win as far as height adjustment. Now, base, the Lasko is going to take the lose. It's a bigger base. It's a flimsier base. But the Dreo definitely wins there. As far as remotes, the Lasko's is a simple 3-button remote. Lets you do what you're going to need to do here. Just a fair warning for those of you with headphones, we are going to have the fans going here so you can listen to them full sound. All right, that's the Lasko on max. Now here's the 7-button remote here for the Dreo. Let's see what this sounds like. Now, as you can see there, it definitely has a different sound caliper to it, and it's not as loud. It just isn't. In fact, I'm going to show you here on screen. We're going to pull up the waveform for both of these so you can see how they compare. Now, that's, of course, the Lasko on the right, the Dreo on the left, both recorded at max volume, so you can see what it sounds like and the grade of the sound. There's some sounds that even if they're louder, they may not sound as harsh. In this case, we're going to give the win to the Dreo. I think it's pretty apparent right there by the waveform signature. But as far as controls, let's see what the Dreo can do. We got, of course, the standard oscillation left to right. It can also oscillate up and down. This is a nice feature. Plus, it can do multi-oscillation, so up, down, left, right at the same time. The Dreo, it's kind of the old school one. You got to manually adjust the tilt. I will say it does have pretty good tilt there as a little point almost straight up. But even still, you got to press the little button. The Dreo definitely wins in this category. It can tilt as much, if not more. It's got all the things from the remote. You can do all those features there. Now, the Dreo's got another little trick. It does RGB lighting. And I got to say, I really don't care about this. I know all the kids these days, my kids, they love RGB. Oh my gosh, it's got RGB. Not a thing for me. I'm an old, boring dude, as my kids would tell you. Now, let's talk about airspeed, though, because that's really what it comes down to. How much air can these push? Now, 10 feet away, I've got a double-sided piece of blue tape, and I've got an anemometer, which is a wind speed gauge here. And we're going to see what each of these can do. All right, let's take a look at it. And we're looking at 3.8 miles an hour from 10 feet away. What can the Lasko do? All right, and from 10 feet away, 4.9 miles per hour. Clearly a win for the Lasko. But no, we go into the app, and there is, as I said, there's an app here. It's a smart one. There's a turbo feature. We hit that turbo, and now we're going to see, look at that, it hits 6.0 miles per hour. All sorts of other things and bells and whistles you can do in the app. All right, totally subjective. Remember, this is a sponsored video, so the Lasko coming on here. Let's crank it up to, there we go, we're on high. We'll bring the Dreo on. Take him up, well, he was on high there. Make sure I'm right in the middle of these two. I turn the Lasko off. Got 2 more speeds here on this. That's high on the Dreo. Good, smooth, solid. So kind of lose it here. You have a very narrow beam. All right. The beam goes from about here to over here. At this distance, which is about 5 feet, It's a really concentrated beam, all right? Let's turn that off. Let's go over to the Lasko, turn him back on. And at this distance, back here, there's a big gap in the center. That's interesting. But it goes from about here, weird, about here, stops there, goes over to here, picks up again, and then stops there. So it's wider, but it's a big donut. Whereas with the Dreo, it's definitely a narrower beam. I guess, no. I don't feel the donut with the Dreo. The Dreo feels like a solid beam. It feels like it's that size coming right at me, whereas the Lasko feels like it's a ring. It's not the outer side, it's not the inside. More like almost like a bike tire of air. All right, but let me be honest about this comparison, okay? Because this isn't really an apples to apples kind of thing. This is, well, let's look at the pricing on it because that really tells the whole story. All right, the Lasko comes in MSRP. Currently it's on sale, but the MSRP on it is $52.49. And the Dreo comes in at $130. Now, the good news is Dreo's giving me a coupon code to use on their website, so you can go check it out over there. And the coupon code, I think, takes down to like 107 or something like that. So if you're watching this later, maybe it'll be on sale on Amazon at that time, or you can always go over to the Dreo website. I'll put links, as I said, down to everything. But here's the deal. Is the Lasko fan bad? No. It's not a bad fan. It pushes a bunch of air. I've had Lasko products for years. I've talked about them. I've used Lasko heaters. I've had all sorts of stuff. But is it as good, just as good as the Dreo? No, it doesn't push as much air. It's louder. It doesn't have all the controls. It doesn't have the smart app. And I'll be honest, my first thought was when I saw a smart app for a fan, I was like, yeah, who cares, right? I got the remote. And then I remembered, oh yeah, I'm the guy that loses a remote all the time. So if you're that guy, having the smart app can actually be pretty nice. And then you can add in, I'm not going to play around with the RGB. You know me, I'm a pretty practical kind of guy. But the other stuff, like being able to have it do the multi-oscillation up, down, left, and right all over and really move all the air around here, yeah, come July and August, that's going to be a killer thing for me. And not having it be super loud at the same time while I'm trying to do work or edit videos and that kind of stuff, that's going to be a huge win. So for me, I could totally justify the price. But you have to make the decision for you because really, as I said, the Lasko is for somebody on a budget who just needs some air moved. The Dreo is for somebody who's got a little bit extra spending cash and wants to be able to solve more problems with it, okay? Yeah, it looks cool. It has the RGB lighting, which they put in everything these days. I don't get it. Maybe you do. Maybe it's going to fit the word my daughter uses, the aesthetic. Anyway, I want to thank Dreo again for sponsoring this video. Again, go check them out. Go check them out for yourself. As I said, links will be down below in the video. Go check them out and figure out which one works best for you. Anyway, that's all I've got for you today. You all take care, God bless, and as always, shine on.